Your most valuable asset isn't your money, it isn't your time, and it isn't your network of contacts. Your most valuable asset, the one resource from which all others flow, is your attention. It is the currency of creation, the raw material of progress, and the very foundation upon which a life of substance is built. And right now, it is being stolen from you, piece by piece every single day, by thieves you willingly invite into your home. You're wondering why you feel so scattered, so unproductive, so perpetually behind. You're wondering why your grand ambitions feel so far away. The answer is simple. You cannot build a skyscraper if you allow your tools, your materials, and your very blueprint to be carried off your job site every 30 seconds. Today, we are putting a fence around your construction site. We are firing the incompetent crew. We are removing all distractions. In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you the practical, no-nonsense blueprint for reclaiming your focus. This isn't about a digital detox or a temporary break. This is about a permanent redesign of your environment and your mind. We're going to diagnose the problem, demolish the faulty structures, and then build a new framework for deep, meaningful work. This is the work that separates the men who dream from the men who build. I'm Michael. For over 3 decades, my life has been about construction. I've built businesses from nothing but an idea and a set of tools. I've built a home and a family. But the most fundamental lesson I ever learned wasn't about wood or concrete. It was about focus. I learned that a master craftsman with a simple handsaw and unwavering attention can achieve more than a dozen unfocused amateurs with the most advanced power tools in the world. Your success in life will be a direct result of your ability to direct your attention. I've lived by that principle, and it has never failed me. Now, I'm going to show you how to make it the cornerstone of your own life. So do yourself a favor. Subscribe to this channel and turn on those notifications. Every lesson here is a foundational block. You don't want to find a crack in your structure years from now because you missed one. Let's get to work. First, we need to be brutally honest about the nature of the problem. The distractions that are derailing your life, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, the endless scroll of news feeds and notifications, are not neutral tools. They are not simply benign platforms for connection. They are meticulously engineered systems designed with a single, overarching purpose: to capture and hold your attention for as long as possible. They are not designed to help you build your life. They are designed to be your life. The men who built these platforms are brilliant architects, but they are not building for you. They are building for their advertisers. You are not the customer. You are the product being sold. Imagine you hire a contractor to help you build your dream home. But this contractor has a strange way of working. Every few minutes, he stops what he's doing, pulls out a brightly colored, flashing toy, and dangles it in front of your face. The toy shows you tiny, fleeting glimpses of other people's houses. Here's a man with a bigger house. Here's a woman with a more beautiful garden. Here's a group of people having a party in a house you can't afford. The contractor tells you this is inspiration. He tells you it's staying connected to the neighborhood. But what's really happening? You're not working. You're not focused on your own blueprint. You're becoming anxious, envious, and dissatisfied with your own project. Your attention, which should be on laying the next brick, is now fractured, scattered, and consumed by the irrelevant successes and failures of others. After a full day of this, you've made almost no progress on your own home, but you are exhausted. You would fire that contractor on the spot. So why do you allow these digital contractors to occupy your mind all day, every day? These platforms are architects of addiction. They leverage a psychological principle called a variable reward schedule. It's the same mechanism that makes slot machines in a casino so compelling. You pull the lever, and you don't know if you're going to get nothing, a small reward, or a big jackpot. That unpredictability is what keeps you hooked. Every time you refresh your feed, you are pulling a lever. You don't know if you'll see a boring photo, a mildly amusing video, or something that gives you a rush of dopamine. It's that maybe this time feeling that keeps you coming back, scrolling for hours, searching for that next little hit of digital pleasure. You are not weak for falling into this trap. You are human. The system is designed to exploit your humanity. But recognizing the design is the first step to dismantling it. What is the true cost of this? It's not just the hours you lose, though those are significant. The average person spends hours a day on these apps. That's weeks of your year, years of your life, spent consuming instead of creating. But the real cost is far more insidious. It's the erosion of your ability to focus. It's the fracturing of your attention span. Your brain, when constantly exposed to this fire hose of short, novel, and intense stimuli, begins to rewire itself. It starts to crave that level of stimulation. It loses the patience for long, complex, and nuanced tasks. Reading a book becomes difficult. Following a long lecture becomes a chore. Having a deep, uninterrupted conversation feels impossible. Your mind becomes like a restless child, unable to sit still, always looking for the next shiny object. You cannot build a cathedral with the attention span of a goldfish. What is the one app, the one digital distraction that you know is stealing the most from you? Be honest with yourself. Name it in the comments. Dragging it out into the light is the first step to getting rid of it. So we've identified the problem. The job site is overrun with incompetent, distracting contractors who are actively sabotaging your build. The solution is not to negotiate with them. It's not to manage them or use them in moderation. The solution is demolition. You must remove them completely and ruthlessly. This is the first and most critical step in reclaiming your role as the master builder of your life. This means you delete the apps, not hide them in a folder, not log out. You press and hold that icon until it jiggles, and you hit delete. TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever your particular poison is, you must be decisive. The hesitation you feel, that little pang of anxiety that says, "But what will I miss?" That is the addiction speaking. That is the sound of the faulty wiring in your brain protesting the change. You will miss nothing of value. You will not miss the curated highlight reels of acquaintances' lives. You will not miss the political arguments between strangers. You will not miss the endless stream of meaningless videos. What you will gain is your mind. You will gain your focus. You will gain the single most valuable resource you possess. I remember when I was in the thick of building my first major commercial project. The pressure was immense. The timeline was tight. The budget was unforgiving. And the complexity was staggering. At the time, my main distraction wasn't a smartphone, but the constant chatter of the job site. Everyone had a problem, an opinion, a question. My days were a blur of putting out fires, and I had no time for the deep strategic thinking the project required. I was the chief architect, but I was spending all my time acting like a low-level handyman. One day, after a particularly chaotic morning where nothing of substance was accomplished, I had enough. I went to the site trailer and I put a sign on the door. It said, "Unless the building is on fire, do not knock. I am drawing the blueprint for our success." For the next 4 hours, I sat in complete, uninterrupted silence. I spread the plans out on the table, and I just thought. I identified the critical path. I anticipated bottlenecks. I solved problems before they happened. In those 4 hours of deep focus, I accomplished more than I had in the entire previous week. I created a clear, actionable plan that guided the entire project to a successful, on-time, and on-budget completion. That act of removing distractions, of putting up that sign, was the turning point. Deleting these apps from your phone is your sign. It's you telling the world, and more importantly, yourself, I am drawing the blueprint for my success. Do not disturb. Once the demolition is complete, the next phase is to secure the job site. Deleting the apps is a great start, but the digital world has a way of creeping back in if you don't build a proper fence. This means redesigning your environment for focus. Your phone, even without social media, is still a powerful distraction machine. You must tame it. Go into your settings and turn off every single notification that is not from a human being who needs to contact you urgently. No news alerts, no email pop-ups, no game reminders, nothing. A notification is a request for your attention. You should be the one who decides when and where your attention goes, not some algorithm. Create a dedicated space for deep work. This could be a desk in the corner of your room, a specific chair in your living room, or a spot at the local library. When you are in this space, you do one thing, and one thing only. You work on your most important task. You don't check email. You don't browse the web. You work. This creates a psychological association. Your brain learns that when you are in this space, it's time to focus. It's like a craftsman stepping into his workshop. The very environment signals that it's time to build. Furthermore, you must replace the low-quality materials you've just removed with high-quality ones. Your mind, especially in the beginning, will crave input. If you don't give it something to chew on, it will find its way back to the junk food. So you must be intentional about what you consume. Instead of scrolling through short videos, read a long-form article from a reputable source. Instead of looking at pictures of people's lunches, read a chapter from a classic book. Instead of listening to gossip, listen to a podcast that teaches you a new skill. You are replacing the empty calories of social media with the nutrient-dense protein of real knowledge. You are upgrading your building materials from cheap particle board to solid hardwood. The structure you build will be exponentially stronger as a result. This leads us to the final and most rewarding phase, the construction. You have cleared the land, you have secured the job site, and you have acquired high-quality materials. Now, you get to build. All of that time and energy that was previously being siphoned off by distractions is now yours to command. What will you do with it? This is the most exciting question a man can ask himself. With your reclaimed focus, you can finally master that skill you've always wanted to learn. You can dedicate an hour every day to practicing the guitar, learning to code, or becoming fluent in a new language. An hour of focused, uninterrupted practice every day is a superpower. In a year, you will have accumulated 365 hours of deep work. The progress you will make will be staggering. You will go from a novice to a competent practitioner, and you will be well on your way to mastery. You can build that business you've been dreaming of. You can use your evenings to write a business plan, build a website, and find your first clients. The focused energy you can now bring to the task will allow you to make more progress in a month than you previously did in a year of scattered, half-hearted effort. You can invest in your health. You can use the time to plan your meals, to cook healthy food, and to engage in focused, intense exercise, free from the distraction of your phone. You can build the physical foundation of strength and vitality that will support all of your other endeavors. You can strengthen your real-world relationships. You can be fully present with your family and friends. When you are with them, you can put your phone away and give them the gift of your full, undivided attention. You will find that the quality of your connections deepens in a way that 1,000 likes on a photo never could. This is what is at stake. This is the trade-off. On one hand, you have the fleeting, shallow, and ultimately empty stimulation of the digital crowd. On the other, you have the deep, lasting, and profoundly meaningful satisfaction of building a life of substance, skill, and purpose. It is not a difficult choice when you see it laid out so clearly. I want to be clear. This is not easy, especially at first. The first week after you delete these apps will feel strange. You will feel a phantom itch to check your phone. You will feel out of the loop. This is the withdrawal. This is your brain recalibrating. You must push through it. Treat it like a fever that must break. Stay the course. After a week or two, you will notice a change. The world will seem quieter. Your thoughts will seem clearer. You will feel a sense of calm and control that you haven't felt in years. You will feel your power returning. Your attention is the raw lumber of your life. You can either let it be chopped up into a million tiny pieces of kindling, burned up in the fleeting fires of digital distraction, or you can treat it with the respect it deserves. You can protect it, mill it, and use those strong, solid beams to build a structure that will stand the test of time. A business, a skill, a family, a legacy. The choice is yours. You are the architect. You are the builder. Stop letting thieves onto your job site. Delete the apps. Remove the distractions. Pick up your tools and start building something that matters. Now get to work, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's expand on this construction phase, because this is where the abstract concept of focus becomes a tangible reality. Building a life is much like building a house. It requires different skills, different materials, and different rooms, but they all must rest on the same solid foundation and work together as a cohesive whole. With your reclaimed attention, you can now become a master builder in 4 critical areas: your workshop, your gymnasium, your library, and your town hall. First, let's talk about your workshop. This is the space where you build your value for the world, what most people would call a career or a business. With your undivided attention, you are no longer just an employee or an entrepreneur. You are a craftsman. A craftsman does not simply trade time for money. A craftsman dedicates himself to the mastery of a skill, and the money becomes a byproduct of his excellence. Your focused hours are the sharpening stone for your tools. Each hour you spend in deep work, free from the pull of notifications and the chatter of the digital world, you are honing your edge. Imagine you're a carpenter. A distracted carpenter measures once and cuts twice, wasting wood and time. He's constantly checking his phone, his mind on a dozen other things. His work is sloppy, his joints don't fit, and his reputation suffers. A focused carpenter, however, measures twice and cuts once. He is present with the material. He understands the grain of the wood, the feel of the tool in his hand. He works with a quiet intensity, and the result is a piece of furniture that is not just functional, but beautiful. It is a testament to his skill and his dedication. In your career, you must strive to be the focused carpenter. Whether you are a writer, a programmer, a salesman, or a manager, your attention is the difference between shoddy work and craftsmanship. It's the difference between being a replaceable cog in a machine and becoming an indispensable asset. Your focused attention allows you to see the details others miss, to solve the problems others can't, and to produce work of a quality that speaks for itself. Next is your gymnasium. This is where you build the physical structure that will carry you through life. Your body is not a passive vehicle. It is the most fundamental tool you will ever own. A craftsman takes meticulous care of his tools, and you must do the same. The time and focus you've reclaimed are the resources you now invest in your physical foundation. This is not about vanity. It is about capability. A strong, healthy body provides the energy, the resilience, and the mental clarity required for every other aspect of your life. Building this structure requires a blueprint, just like any other project. It requires a plan for your nutrition, your exercise, and your rest. A distracted approach to health is what most people do. They eat whatever is convenient, they go to the gym, and wander aimlessly from machine to machine while scrolling on their phone, and they sacrifice sleep for late-night entertainment. The result is a weak, unreliable structure that is prone to breaking down. A focused approach is that of a master builder. You plan your meals like you would order materials for a job site, ensuring you have the high-quality protein, complex carbohydrates, and micronutrients you need. When you exercise, you are fully present. You focus on your form, on the contraction of the muscle, on the rhythm of your breathing. You are not just moving weight. You are intentionally applying stress to stimulate growth. This focused intensity is what transforms your body. It builds a structure capable of withstanding the inevitable storms of life, illness, injury, and the simple passage of time. Third, we have your library. This is where you build your mind. A house without books, without knowledge, is just a shell. Your library is the intellectual framework of your life. It is where you go to understand the world, to learn from the great thinkers who came before you, and to expand the boundaries of your own understanding. The distractions you have removed were the equivalent of filling your library with comic books and gossip magazines. They were colorful and easy to consume, but they offered no nutritional value. Now you have the opportunity to stock your shelves with the classics, with books on history, philosophy, science, and art. Reading a challenging book requires a type of focus that is the polar opposite of scrolling through a social media feed. It requires you to follow a long, complex argument, to hold multiple ideas in your mind at once, and to think critically about what you are consuming. It is a workout for your brain. In the beginning, this will feel difficult. Your mind, accustomed to the quick hits of dopamine from digital media, will resist. It will want to wander. You must be the master of your own mind and bring it back to the page, again and again. With practice, your mental endurance will grow. You will find that you can think more clearly, articulate your ideas more precisely, and see the world with a depth and nuance that was previously unavailable to you. You are not just reading books. You are building a cathedral of the mind, a structure of knowledge and wisdom that will inform every decision you make. Finally, we have the town hall. This is where you build your relationships and your community. This may seem counterintuitive. How does removing digital social connection help you build real social connection? It's simple. The connections you make on these platforms are, for the most part, an illusion. They are a mile wide and an inch deep. A like is not a conversation. A follow is not a friendship. By removing the low-quality, high-volume interactions of the digital world, you create the space and the mental capacity for high-quality, low-volume interactions in the real world. When you are with people, you can now be with them. You can give them the gift of your undivided attention. You can listen, truly listen, without the phantom limb of your phone buzzing in your pocket. You can look them in the eye. You can pick up on the subtle cues of their body language. You can engage in the kind of deep, meaningful conversations that are the bedrock of all true human connection. You are building relationships like a master mason builds a stone wall, carefully, patiently, one stone at a time. Each conversation, each shared experience, is another stone set perfectly in place. The result is a bond that is strong, durable, and real. It is a structure of trust and mutual respect that can weather any storm. Unlike the flimsy, disposable connections of the digital world, this is the blueprint for a well-built life. A strong workshop for your value, a solid gymnasium for your body, a deep library for your mind, and a warm town hall for your relationships. None of this is possible without the foundational resource of your focused attention. The distractions are not just stealing your time, they are stealing your ability to build.